Greetings petrolheads, my name is the Tom, you're on my gaming channel, and it's time for another episode of Automation, a car company tycoon game. Today I'm gonna build a new car, like a non-existing car, and I wanna make it a sport, like a compact sports sedan. And for this I think we have a really nice body available. Super low here. Almost look like a photo coupe now. Like that. And of course we are going to just a little bit. And what I was actually trying to get at, of course we're going to flare the wheel arches a little bit later. I don't really know what kind of car we would be competing against, but since I would say maybe a Subaru WRX. But then again, you know, I really like river drive. You know, screw it, let's make it all drive and compete with the WRX. So let's make plastic panels. They're lighter and cheaper than aluminium. And what I am going to do is I'm going to put the signature grille on here. This is going to make the front look kind of Mercedes-like, I think, but we are gonna put down the badge here. And since we are gonna be competing with sports cars, I really would recommend putting a lip on here. Maybe not this big though. It seems a little bit more reasonable. I want the number plate to be kind of the center of attention on the bottom of this front end. Like right here. And then we can, you know, we can play around a little bit with some fancy bumpers or something like that. We can, for example, put this down. And then we're gonna just, I think we might even, no, we're gonna put some vents down. And presumably some of these right here. You can even make some more. We can make these a little bit fancier if you want to, and I think I actually want to, but let me just give me a second here. What do I actually want to make here? Yeah, okay. So as we're moving along, and as I'm doing it, I'm going to explain what I'm about to do. I'm gonna make kind of a triangle shaped outcut here from this edge of the number plate to this edge of the grille, and cover this whole area so that it looks like the grille is always getting bigger and bigger. And that is what I'm currently trying to do here. This is a totally wrong angle. This looks better. This looks off place though. That's alright, we can do something about that, which would be to make this just a little bit taller. this, please, a little bit taller. Okay, there we go. Now put this back up here. And then we wanna have some number plate lighting though. Or at least I do. That's what's gonna be in this gap here. So let's handle that right away. Alrighty then. You can cover the bottom side of this with another one of these things. So there we go with that. And we're gonna put this down on the upper edge here of the arrangement that we're trying to make. It's a little bit too long though. I'm sorry, I'm gonna delete it. This is better. And now comes, actually soon comes a time where we don't have to be that precise anymore. For example, we can make a bigger one of these. Put down like so. Actually this is, yeah, this is messed up. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. So what I'm going to do now is put down one of these in a pretty much parallel angle to the original one that we put down. And now we can just fill that gap out. Okay. Let's rotate it just a little bit. And there we go. Okay. There is that now. So and I think we even, for some extra sportiness up here, put down some of these that we normally use in our rear bumpers. Right there. All we need now is some headlights. I think otherwise the front end is done. And for the front and for the headlights, I think we make it so that this thing points towards the center of the chrome bar of the grille. And stretch this thing out. Then make this one pretty much parallel to the first one. Oh, that's not the one I wanted here. There we go. And we're gonna connect the upper two. Good. Well, almost, at least. So this is gonna be our basic shape for the headlights. I'm gonna put down the white indicator strips that I normally put down last. I'm gonna do them right now. Then we're gonna put down the internals of these headlights. One of these. One of these. And then an indicator as well. And just fill this whole thing out with probably not one of these, but a couple of these at least. And there's that. The reason, you know, a couple of people asked me, oh, Tom, why don't you put, or actually, I should start differently. A lot of requests that I get is building more engines, and at the same time, people also ask me to build speed builds for the design. So people are apparently more interested in engines than in the designs. However, I see myself more as a designer than as an engineer, and as such I go more in depth on the exterior design than I do on the engine builds, if that makes any sense. I think it makes perfectly sense actually. And yeah, that is why my designs take so long to make. And it's also, you know, the thing is, people keep asking me to make speed builds of the designs. At the same time, I've seen other people who are very creative with their exterior designs do speed builds, and then people were asking, oh, how did you do this, how did you do that, and then they had to explain it in the comments, and that's like really cumbersome, I think. So if I'm gonna be a designer rather than an engineer, I might as well go in depth on it while I'm doing it, as opposed to doing a speed build and then having to explain all the single steps in the comments. And that is why I'm taking my time here for the designs. Actually, let me delete this for a second. I am going to make a pretty unique taillight arrangement as well, or again, by putting one of these down here, which is not very creative to begin with, but as we're gonna move along, it's gonna get more and more interesting. Now I'm gonna put this down. I could have just left it there, sorry, my mistake. Taking longer than is necessary. Let's move this here though. And then I'm gonna just leave this grill here for now. I'm gonna stretch it later. Because actually no, let's make this a little bit different here. Nice. And we now do not want the body panel colored versions of these. We want the black ones because I want to cut out some more unique shaped taillights. And more at an angle like this. Make sure the first end hits pretty much the halfway point of the taillight's height, and then I'm gonna make one that is about as thick and go to different angle to the other halfway point of the taillight's height. Okay, excuse me. There we go. It's not... Actually, I'm content with this. And as you can see, this blends in perfectly with the plastic surroundings of the taillights and with the grille. So I could now be extremely lazy and put one of these bad boys down. Wait a minute. Please let me select this properly. Right here. That is good. However, I am still going to cover the areas that I don't want to see on the tail lights, like this. And where are you? Here we go. And here as well. These are gonna blend in so nicely with the grille and everything else that's plastic on here. Even if there's no girls on the inside. Wait a minute. Yes. No. Okay. We need a really small one of you. Right there. So those are gonna be the main tail lights. I'm probably gonna add some LED strips as well. Like right there. Oh, I don't think that looks particularly good. Are these being covered by the... Yeah. And actually... Yeah, I think I'm content with these taillights as they are. And now I'm gonna put down the badge. Here. And then I'm gonna put down some more go in an angle like this, making this whole design flow a little bit more. Oh, that doesn't look proper. What I will do though is these in here. Okay, now we still need the number plate and a bumper on the rear end. Since we are gonna put down a lip, I'm not gonna adjust the size of this grille that we're using for the bumper just yet. A little bit bigger maybe. And sure. Some of these. And afterwards, I'm also gonna build an engine for this, so yeah, there's something in this video for everyone, I hope at least. Some of you prefer engine build, some of you prefer my designs, and yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of both. This was not the way I intended this to go. So let's scale it first and then put it down. It's too big. Still too big. Here we go. Just small now. I want this to be in line with the thing, with the back diffuser elements. So there we go. Then we're gonna put down some braking lights down here, which are gonna blend in with the rest of the whole diffuser again. And then of course we also want some exhaust in here, which are gonna be pretty small in this case. However, we are gonna use these. Put them down like here. Do we want a wing on here? Let's try it out. Let's try it on for size. This one does not complement this body very well. I think we can do without. Yeah, this really doesn't work, aesthetically speaking. No, not at all. I think because of the fact that it already has this kind of built-in lip here, we don't need another wing on it. So let's repaint it. Blue seems like a nice choice of color here. Silver maybe. No, yellow. Red. Red seems really nice. Black. Or white. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. That's what Michael Jackson said. And I agree. So here we're gonna go for all-wheel drive. Make a new engine. And you may or may not have heard that V6s are gonna be in the next big update for automation. So I'm excited for that. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of inline-sixes, but I do understand the value in them. And what are we gonna make here? We're gonna make it 2.5 liter. What was I about to say? Yeah, V6s. They are gonna be in the next big update, and I hope that at some point we're gonna have not inline fours. We already have those V4s, because I think, you know, I don't know if they're gonna be viable because they're not very common, but at the same time that's exactly why I would love to have them in the game, to offer a little bit more variety, to not have to go mainstream basically. I'm gonna turbocharge this thing. And yeah, V4s also sound really nice, very different from inline fours, and that's why I would love to have V4s in the game. However, as I said, I don't know if that's gonna happen at any point in the future. Gonna go for direct injection. We don't need any fancy intake. Let's make this relatively lean, and a rev limit of like 7,000 RPM. It's gonna make a good amount of power, so gonna go for no second muffler. 273 is kind of where I was aiming with this engine. However, we can still improve it. This was too much compression. I'd like to make the power earlier so that I can get a more usable power band. So in order to achieve this, I'm gonna decrease the compressor size. Oh yes, okay, 277. 282. This looks like a nice power plateau up there. Also the torque is really well, like I really like the torque curve, that it gives you such a long torque band, if you will. The economy is pretty good as well. 27% is nothing to sneeze at for a 2.5 liter turbocharged sports engine, basically. And we're gonna go for a 6-speed manual, and the top speed is obviously gonna be higher than 206 kilometers an hour. I think we're actually looking at more like 275, even though that sounds crazy with the currently estimated top speed. But since it's meant to compete with the WRX, let's give this an electric LSD, because it's really gonna need that. Sports tires, 245s rear, 225s front, 17 inch rims, 630, some of those. Do we have more? Yeah, okay. Alloy wheels, just kind of standard. 6-piston brakes, it's gonna need them. 4-piston brakes rear. And the fully clad under tray would be to my likings. We're gonna look at a little bit less wing angle here. We don't need downforce on the under tray, I think, because it's not a full-on, you know, track day car. Brake airflow can't hurt, I think. We can improve the quality of the aerodynamics a little bit. Compensate for the fact that we don't have active aero, basically. 4 seats with standard interior and infotainment, all driver aids except launch control. Advanced safety, because safety is important. Active sport, semi-active, and then passive, I think. And then let's make this thing kind of sporty, but still within the realms of possibility, considering this is, after all, a road car. 4 here, then 300 here and 200 here. 200 millimeters of ride height. Let's see what this does. 1470 kilograms, that's a little bit heavy. The economy is fantastic. The drivability to sportiness ratio is also fantastic. Let's see what this does. 5.1 from 0 to 100. Every track. 128.7. I don't know how this stacks up with the real WRX. Maybe, I don't know, is there... I should check out the WRX's Laguna Seca time, because I do think Motor Trend have taken it there. 150.95. Doesn't seem particularly strong though. Probably because it's so heavy. But we are gonna go for standard safety now, which shaved off another 70 kilograms. So what about now? 150.31, still not amazing. Quarter mile, because this is inaccurate. 13.07. The reason I know that this is more, like this Tulsa test track is more accurate than the quarter mile time shown in game, is because somebody created this, like made a quarter mile track for the game, and it is exactly a quarter of a mile long, whereas this quarter mile time is probably, yeah, it's probably off because the quote-unquote fictional quarter mile that the game uses for calculations is a little bit longer than 402 point whatever comes after the comma meters. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, please click the like button, it helps out a great deal. Also consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.